crazy wedding, Jeff Bezos' wedding, continues to make headlines. Now, apparently we're told that you might have...
Well, head crack, yesterday we talked about Amazon founder Jeff Bezos and his billion-dollar divorce, right? Mm-hmm. And Gary, it seems that you be knowing because it's being reported that...
It's also being reported that one of the reasons for the divorce is Jeff.
That is ridiculous.
Jeff, throw the whole thing away, okay? The girlfriends are terrible, her friends are terrible, the girlfriend is terrible.
Yeah.
Who does that? Like, she couldn't even keep it a secret? Like, I want to be able to trust
keep
you.
it a secret. He was with her at the Golden...
I could not stay silent. I'm sorry. It's the Lord's work. It means I take a couple of hits, I get dinged up and bruised, and I get into trouble, but the invitation, I have a difficult time holding back when I have an opinion. So when I saw the...
What if I told you? What if I told you that Lauren Sanchez, caught in the middle of a jaw-dropping $5 billion divorce battle, tried to bring the entire storm to a halt? Not with lawyers or legal documents, but with just a handful of desperate emotional words. Imagine standing in a courtroom where millions are watching and billions are at stake, and instead of complex strategies, she leans only on raw emotion to stop everything in its tracks. Jeff Bezos locked his gaze on her, his expression sharp and unyielding, before delivering a response that cut deeper than any argument could. He didn't reach for comfort, he didn't suggest a pause to talk, and he certainly didn't offer hope that things could be repaired. Instead, his reply was brutally short and final. Just 2 words that carried the weight of an ending. Too late. No explanation, no room for negotiation, only a cold reminder that some moments, once lost, can never be taken back.
But they also took a risk.
This is exactly the mood surrounding the situation right now, happening so soon after a wedding that felt less like a traditional ceremony and more like a dazzling combination of a high-end fashion spectacle and a royal coronation rolled into one. Every detail was dripping with luxury. Every photograph looked staged for a global magazine cover. Yet, in spite of all that glitter and spectacle, Bezos is now pulling the plug, doing it with a kind of cold precision only a man carrying a fortune of over $200 billion could manage. What makes the blow even more unbelievable is the timing. Barely a month has passed since that over-the-top celebration in Venice, an event that set social media on fire and had the entire internet buzzing day and night about their fairy tale moment. And now, as if the curtain has barely lifted on this unfolding drama, the lawyers are already circling like vultures sensing a wounded prey. Legal teams are moving fast, freezing accounts, locking down assets, and preparing for what could become one of the most brutal courtroom battles in recent history. Every hour brings new filings, new demands, and new strategies. Meanwhile, whispers from inside circles suggest that Lauren herself may be slipping into survival mode, possibly even going underground, scrambling to stay one step ahead of the chaos closing in on her. Some claim she's avoiding the spotlight, others say she's actively moving between safe locations, all in an attempt to shield herself from the tidal wave of legal and financial destruction about to crash over everything she built. She is now slipping away, almost disappearing from the very spotlight she once chased with relentless determination, the same stage she once fought so hard to make her own. The cameras that once adored her are searching in vain, while her silence grows louder than any headline. And according to those closest to the situation, what's unfolding is not some ordinary divorce process filled with routine paperwork. No, this is something far darker. Insiders describe it as a cold, calculated, and brutally efficient strategy, a legal war plan designed to dismantle everything she has built piece by piece. The goal isn't compromise, it's complete destruction, a ruthless attempt to strip her of every privilege, every possession, and every ounce of influence, leaving her with absolutely nothing but the wreckage of what used to be her glamorous life.
Lauren Sanchez is the bride-to-be. The good thing is, I suppose, when you're Jeff Bezos, you don't need to worry about the money that is...
This was never just an emotional outburst or a sudden breakdown. It was a carefully engineered takedown, executed with precision rather than passion. Every move seemed planned, every step deliberate, leaving no room for mistakes or second chances. And when the reality finally hit Lauren, when she began to understand the trap closing in around her, she did what anyone in her place might do. She reached out. She called, she texted, she pleaded, and even begged for just one more chance to fix things. But all of those attempts, all of that desperation, was met with the same merciless response. Jeff didn't soften, didn't explain, didn't give her hope. Instead, he repeated those same 2 devastating words: cold, sharp, and final. Too late. Now, the empire they once showcased to the world with so much pride and confidence is starting to fracture, piece by piece, collapsing in front of an audience that cannot look away. What was once polished and glamorous is now showing deep cracks, and those cracks are widening with every passing day. And from behind the carefully constructed curtains, details are beginning to spill out. Ugly, messy truths that no amount of wealth or influence can fully contain. What's emerging is far more chaotic, unpredictable, and shocking than anyone could have possibly imagined, turning their picture-perfect empire into a public unraveling.
At the end of the day, though, when you be doing shady mess like this, shady on both parties, this is where my mom, Mama Mai, says that the God punish you. This is like God punished by cleaning house with every single person. And for me, when it comes to cheating, man, to me, it is the most deplorable thing you could possibly do in your humankind, in your human nature, because it checks all of the boxes. Deceit, dishonesty, betrayal of your vows. Well, in this case, I'm glad he's getting a divorce because now he, one, doesn't have to cheat anymore, but two, the embarrassment of it all is even worse.
And number three, you deserve to pay up, partner. Pay up.
Literally. But how did it all spiral into this dramatic moment? And why does it feel as if Jeff Bezos had meticulously orchestrated every single step from the very start? Even before the first wedding guests arrived in Venice, before the breathtaking custom Valentino gown was revealed, before the $3,000 a plate feast was served, and long before the paparazzi swarmed every corner, Bezos had already been quietly plotting, drawing invisible battle lines that no one else could see. At the very center of this carefully constructed high-stakes conflict was a critical piece that would define the entire showdown: the prenup. It wasn't just a legal formality, it was the hidden foundation of a strategic game that Bezos had been preparing for long before the first champagne glass was raised. But this was far from a standard prenup. What we're looking at is a legally ironclad, multi-layered masterpiece, crafted with the kind of painstaking precision that only someone like Jeff Bezos could command, almost as if he were plotting a rocket launch rather than a marriage contract. Sources close to the matter say that months before the wedding festivities even kicked off, Bezos had quietly brought together an elite top-tier attorneys. Together, they produced a document so carefully engineered, so airtight in every clause and contingency, that it could easily be described as a financial fortress, one designed not just to protect wealth, but to anticipate nearly any move, misstep, or maneuver that might ever arise in the high-stakes world of billion-dollar relationships.
You know, that is it's a sad damn society, because Jeff and that damn man, Lauren's husband, they all were friends. And while she was smiling in Jeff's white face, she was screwing her husband behind her back. I don't like that, honey.
But y'all don't feel sorry.
This wasn't a break.
This prenup didn't just safeguard Jeff's wealth. It was designed to anticipate every conceivable move, twist, or misstep long before it could even occur. And here's the truly astonishing part. Sources claim that Lauren allegedly put her signature on this intricately detailed, multi-layered document only weeks before the wedding. According to insiders, the circumstances were far from casual or relaxed. She was reportedly under intense pressure, with advisors hovering and legal experts ensuring that every clause, every contingency, and every loophole was locked down. In other words, what might have seemed like a standard premarital agreement was in reality a high-stakes, calculated maneuver that set the stage for the drama that would soon unfold. There wasn't a single opportunity for negotiation, no room to ask for adjustments or amendments, just a blunt, unmistakable ultimatum: sign on the dotted line or walk away entirely. And in the end, Lauren chose to sign. Now, fast forward to the present, and that very same prenup, once just a piece of legal paperwork, has transformed into Bezos' most powerful weapon. Today, it's the tool he wields with surgical precision, enabling him to systematically cut her out, leaving no leverage, no access, and no control over the empire they once shared. What once seemed like routine legal precaution has now become the linchpin of an unyielding strategy. Lauren wasn't given any room to negotiate, nor the opportunity to request modifications. Just one stark, unavoidable decision: either sign this agreement or walk away entirely. Ultimately, she chose to sign. Fast forward to the present, and that very same document has transformed into Bezos' ultimate instrument of control. Today, he wields it like a precision tool, systematically shutting her out and stripping away any influence, access, or claim she might have had. What once appeared as routine legal protection now serves as the backbone of a calculated strategy, giving Bezos full leverage over the situation and ensuring that she has no path to reclaim what was once within her reach.
Too late.
New perspective. I just want to really feel and be in that moment.
All access is gone. Her funds, her assets, her influence, everything she might have assumed was hers is suddenly beyond reach. And the ruthlessness of the situation doesn't stop there. One specific clause, now widely discussed online, has drawn particular attention: the stringent publicity restriction. According to insiders, it stipulates that if Lauren attempts to use the marriage to boost her personal brand, secure media deals, or generate public exposure in any way, she risks having her entire payout completely revoked. In other words, any attempt to capitalize on the relationship could backfire entirely, turning what might have seemed like a safety net into a trap designed to maintain total control and prevent her from profiting in any public-facing way. And, judging by everything that has come to light since that wedding, it seems that this very clause may be exactly what Lauren inadvertently set into motion. The prenup is now being widely referred to as the $5 billion boomerang, a legal weapon she essentially threw herself, but now has no way to escape. Remarkably, the ink on their wedding license barely had time to dry before Jeff Bezos activated this powerful financial safeguard. It came just days after their opulent Venetian wedding, a celebration so extravagantly staged that even the grand chandeliers reportedly required their own non-disclosure agreements, underscoring the almost absurd level of planning and control behind the entire event.
Yeah. Even if she got $1 billion, she good. All right?
But I want
like,
9.
Yeah, 67. But what I love is that it's not $1 billion. You guys,
good.
if you follow,
I'll date you, Mackenzie. Okay, I'm sorry, Chief.
No, it's okay. I'm just saying, I hear you on that too, and obviously, like, I have a whole different opinion when it comes to prenups. We can make that another girl chat.
Jeff Bezos blindsided nearly everyone by filing an eye-popping $5 billion divorce lawsuit, though insiders suggest he might have seen it coming all along. Those close to the situation describe it as watching a high-powered missile launch unfold in painfully slow motion. Rumors first surfaced that Bezos had quietly begun rearranging and securing his assets barely a week after the wedding. Then came Lauren's sudden, complete silence. No calls, no statements, nothing. And then, out of nowhere, the full legal filing dropped. But this wasn't just an ordinary divorce request. It was packed with explosive allegations: image exploitation, breach of trust, and one sharp claim that Lauren had been strategically using their marriage to amplify her own fame and influence. Legal analysts say this goes far beyond divorce. It's a deliberate reputational takedown. Bezos wasn't merely seeking a settlement, he was cutting her off entirely. The shocker? Lauren reportedly found out about the lawsuit not from Jeff himself, but through a legal courier while she was casually shopping in Malibu. When she tried reaching out afterward, every attempt, calls, texts, even emails, was met with absolute, unyielding silence.
I didn't even think about this with the whole prenup agreement with Jeff Bezos and his attorneys. Their wedding was stalled originally because of this prenup, but nobody knows what it says. It's assumed that since they live in Florida that they got married in the state of Florida, but they absolutely were sure that the prenup would include the detail that whatever state they got married in was the state they had to get divorced in.
One insider put it plainly: this was always heading toward a conclusion. Jeff just decided to pull the trigger first. And that's when the story stops feeling like a romantic fairy tale and starts reading more like a high-stakes Netflix thriller. While Bezos was meticulously planning a wedding that looked like a $10 million cinematic fantasy, sources suggest that Lauren Sanchez may have quietly been pursuing her own agenda, a personal rebranding campaign. People close to the situation say she had already been arranging meetings, setting up photo shoots, and even pitching a documentary-style series before the couple had even exchanged vows. One anonymous Hollywood producer claims Lauren floated the idea of a luxury empowerment show just days before the ceremony, promising behind-the-scenes glimpses of her journey from local journalist to billionaire spouse. But it didn't stop there. She reportedly contacted top fashion houses and brand managers, sharing curated images from the wedding without Jeff's knowledge or consent. When a major tabloid published a glossy feature highlighting only Lauren's designer gowns, completely omitting Bezos' family, alarm bells rang. Insiders say Jeff felt blindsided, even used, according to repeated statements from his team. And when his lawyers dug deeper, they flagged possible breaches of the prenup's strict publicity clause. In short, Lauren had turned the entire wedding into her own carefully orchestrated stage. Jeff saw their marriage as a true partnership, a union founded on trust, shared goals, and mutual respect. Lauren, however, treated it more like a high-profile launch party, a stage to showcase herself and her brand. And when Jeff finally grasped the vast difference in their intentions, the legal filing practically wrote itself. If you thought the divorce papers were harsh, what followed was even more relentless. Within hours of officially initiating the lawsuit, Bezos imposed an absolute lockdown on everything Lauren had once enjoyed, far beyond the ordinary access you might imagine. private jets grounded, security codes rewritten, personal assistants reassigned. It was as though she had been digitally erased from his entire empire in the span of a single day. A source close to Jeff revealed that when Lauren attempted to book a luxury wellness retreat to the Maldives just 2 days after the filing, she discovered her G650ER jet privileges revoked, her travel itinerary canceled, her accounts frozen, and her longtime staff now reporting directly to Bezos' legal team. Even the smart locks on their shared estates were reportedly reprogrammed while she was away. Brutal? Absolutely. But make no mistake, Bezos wasn't playing defense. He was going full throttle on offense. Jeff's team reportedly saw Lauren's media activity as a direct threat to the brand. And within just 48 hours, she was stripped of access to everything that connected her to that world. Stylist.
I think if they didn't want to be together, I get that. I just think there's a different way to go about this. It just seemed like it got really messy really quickly.
Yeah.
But if he was not...
Gone. Publicist nowhere to be found. One of her closest aides even defected, feeding Bezos' team inside details about content Lauren had meticulously planned weeks in advance. This isn't simply a breakup, it's a methodical, calculated dismantling of everything she had built. For someone who once floated above it all in designer heels and a borrowed crown, the sudden plunge back to reality is nothing short of brutal. One moment she's striding through LAX like a runway model in oversized blackout sunglasses, commanding attention effortlessly. The next, she disappears entirely. No social media posts, no paparazzi shots, no trusted insiders publicly managing the narrative. Just silence. But if she assumed vanishing would cool the firestorm, she gravely misjudged the speed and reach of the internet. Because as soon as news of the lawsuit broke, compounded by swirling reports that she had begged Bezos to halt the proceedings, social media exploded like a digital bomb, triggering waves of discussion, heated debates, and relentless speculation that showed no signs of slowing. TikTok feeds were instantly overwhelmed, bouncing between yacht life glamour one moment and the staggering $5 billion divorce saga the next. Reddit threads erupted with dramatic headlines like "Jeff finally snaps," while Twitter turned into a full-scale battleground of speculation and memes. Hashtags such as "Bezos breaks free" and "Lauren loses big" were trending within hours, igniting debates across every corner of social media. Even her once devoted fan pages began turning critical. One viral comment cut especially deep. She treated marriage like a PR campaign and got completely outplayed by the CEO of Outplaying. The harshest reality? No one stepped in to defend her. Not Oprah, not her so-called wedding confidants, not even the influencers she had paid to showcase her curated wedding moments. It was as if the entire world examined the evidence, did the calculations, and collectively chose to abandon her. According to sources, Lauren reached out to a top-tier publicist for crisis management, only to hear, "It's too late. This storm can't be spun." Now, all that's left are grainy yacht snapshots, whispers of her hiding in a remote villa, phone off, dreams derailed. And here's the kicker. Insiders stress that this wasn't an emotional, impulsive meltdown. Far from it. Every move, every reaction was part of a high-stakes chess game she suddenly found herself losing.
I don't think Lauren Sanchez, ex-husband, soon-to-be ex-husband, is going to care.
No negotiation win.
But that's exactly how Bezos plays the game. Every move he makes isn't just about business. It's about domination, a carefully calculated war. And now, barely a month after the so-called wedding of the year, Lauren Sanchez finds herself staring down a staggering $5 billion lawsuit that she has no way to avoid. The personal empire she may have dreamed of building could vanish before it even begins. And the man behind it all made sure her exit wasn't just painful, it was staged for maximum public humiliation. The coldest part? When she finally tried to reach out, to plead, to salvage even a fraction of their connection, Bezos didn't raise his voice. He didn't argue. He didn't show a hint of emotion. Instead, he delivered just 2 words: too late. And in that instant, everything became clear. This wasn't an emotional reaction. It was a meticulously engineered trap. Every possible move had been anticipated, every step pre-planned, and even those closest to Lauren now admit she fell right into it. The wedding became the perfect stage, the prenup a weapon primed for deployment, and the lawsuit the final act of a drama written by Bezos himself. Now Lauren has vanished from the public eye. Her team disbanded, her social media silent, and public opinion has turned so sharply against her that her carefully crafted brand strategy lies in literal ruins.
Throw the whole thing away, okay? The girlfriends are terrible, her friends are terrible, the girlfriend is terrible.
Yeah.
Who does that? Like, she couldn't even keep it a secret? Like, I wouldn't be able to trust you.
He couldn't keep it a secret. He was with her at the gold.
Meanwhile, Bezos is quietly doing what he does best, moving like a master strategist, making calculated decisions behind the scenes, and letting the fallout tell the story. The real question now isn't simply whether Lauren lost, it's how completely she's been outmaneuvered. And that's where you come in. Was Lauren Sanchez genuinely unprepared for the level of precision and planning in Jeff's moves? Or did Bezos execute the most ruthless, perfectly orchestrated divorce strategy the world has ever seen? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'm reading every single one. Smash that like button if this drama hit you like a Bezos missile, and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next jaw-dropping twist in this billionaire saga. Just like that, the fairy tale crumbled in flames. What began as a $5 million Venice wedding has now erupted into a staggering $5 billion battlefield. Lauren isn't just losing jets, estates, and media coverage. She's losing the one thing she valued most: control over her own story. Once Jeff uttered those two chilling words, "too late," everything ended. No second chances, no spin control, no seat at the table. Only cold, unyielding silence.
Said was the prenup wasn't clear enough and that they forbid Jeff Bezos from marrying Lauren Sanchez until all parties were happy with whatever the prenup had specified. They needed it to be so detailed. They forbade him. And they specifically said it was the attorneys of the founders of Amazon.
Which, based on what...
And if you're sitting there thinking, wow, Bezos really mapped out every single move down to the tiniest, most microscopic detail, you're definitely not alone. This wasn't merely a divorce. It was a meticulously planned, full-scale demolition of both reputation and influence. And believe me, this story is far from reaching its final chapter. Now it's your turn. Do you think Lauren ever actually had a fighting chance? Or did Jeff Bezos quietly flip the switch the very moment she crossed the line? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'm keeping a close eye on every bold theory, every sizzling opinion. Smash that like button if this tea hit just right, and don't forget to subscribe if you want to be front and center for the next explosive wave of drama. Because the way this billionaire saga is unraveling, you'll want a front row seat to every twist. This isn't just another high-profile scandal, it's a masterclass in calculated billionaire revenge. And trust me, we're only scratching the surface. The next chapter promises even more jaw-dropping moves.
DAs.
I have a difficult time holding back when I have an opinion. So when I saw the invitation, that's when I got lost. The invitation, you lost me, and as a result, for the people, I'm going to start dating so I can eventually get married and have a wedding and make up for that invitation, because that invitation, I could not stay silent. I'm sorry. It's the Lord's work. It means I take a couple of hits, I get dinged up and bruised, and I get into trouble, but the invitation is where you lost me. So I am open for business after 7 months.